What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 32 of the single player Let's Play. So, I have a plan. We've been busy. I've been cooking up just random bits of charcoal and dumping them up here in the frame drawer because we're getting infinite wood anyway, so why not? One thing, though, is we're producing a good amount of mana, but we should use it because now we have quite a lot of it and we're not even doing anything with it. So why don't we make ourselves that portal to Alfheim like we had discussed. I'm going to go ahead and move the terrestrial agglomeration plate that we made before, because we're probably going to want this somewhere else instead. I'm thinking where we might move it to is over here in this corner, perhaps. I'm curious if I can get away with it. If I can do... Here, I don't want to have any issues, so why don't I do this, and we will, let's see, one mode. If I do that, is that going to cause any weird craziness? I hope not. We'll put the leaf block down that we've been needing to put there anyways, and we can use our lapis blocks there, and just move this over here to this corner. Still a valid structure, just a little bit more compact. Because what I'm thinking is right here is where we're going to want to move to, or have our portal of Alfheim instead. So why don't we go ahead and get the portal of Alfheim put together. It's going to be a few bits and bobs, so definitely worth it. Let's see. So we're going to want... let's see, Elven Gateway Core is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to want some pylons as well. So we're going to want the Natura pylons, which are going to be mana pylons. So we need two mana diamonds and some mana steel. So we're going to need 4 of you and 2 of you. So we can go ahead and get our pylons. We're going to want these pylons, which means we're going to need 2 Eyes of Ender. No problem. We're no longer running short on Ender Pearls, which is nice. And our RF production has come to a pause, like I said it would. We're going to want 2 mana pools. We're going to want some mana spreaders. We're going to want 2 of those as well. Actually, you know what? We're just going to use my Ring of Mana, or my Band of Mana. We'll use that instead, because we're not going to use this a whole lot. So we're going to need 3 pieces of shimmering, or glimmering living wood. And then just a bunch of normal living wood. So we'll have our living wood shaped out like so. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and put blocks here anyways, even though we don't need them, because I feel like it looks better. And I'm going to come over here and grab, I guess this is the nearest place that I have this pattern. If I run down here, I'm going to grab that, and then we will head back up here and slope the corners because it looks nice. And we'll put that stuff away. We'll need 2 mana pools. They can actually go anywhere now, which is really nice. So I'm going to put them all the way, I think over here will be within range, I think. I think that's within range. Let me check. Portal to Alfheim. Minecrafters, yada yada yada. Words being visited. Must be laid out in 11 by 11 area around the core to open up the portal. Okay, so 11 by 11. That might actually be too far. We should really come up with a better method of getting all this stuff down. Like, this guy here is kind of like the biggest bane of this setup, honestly. Because I'd like to just have the pools, like, either here or here. I guess I'll just do here for now. I just don't like that this isn't, that that's overlapping. I need to come up with a better way of doing this. Like, this is cool and stuff, but maybe that's what we'll look into doing here soon, is getting everything we need to make ourselves a shard of Laputa. Or I may install terrain crystals. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I like the idea of having terrain crystals. I've seen them, and they look pretty cool. Let me grab my Wand of the Forest, and we'll set you to push to the mana band. Just making sure that everything looks right. So we're just going to go ahead and drain this entire pool. We don't really need... well, we don't want to drain the whole thing, I guess. We should probably grab... Because I wanted to make the pixie armor. So we should grab everything that I need to accomplish that. There we go. Because I know I was going to need 48 mana steel. So let's go ahead and fill these guys up. It still drains half of a mana pool to see substantial amount that it costs is divided between all of them. Seems to send portals through, blah, blah, blah. Link isn't strong enough to let people through. We know that much. We'll stop there. I want to say that it's half full, so that should be fine. I'm also surprised the Britannia's model is still weird. Like, look in my hand, you see how it's got this gold ring? Where's the gold ring? I don't care. I like these. Just change the model for the inventory item. It just makes me laugh. That leaves me just a drop of mana left, but that's fine. We'll go and open up the portal and see how much of that it's going to drain. It actually didn't drain nearly as much as I thought it would. Cool. Well, this will possibly drain a lot of it, so we'll just see. There's our 24. So let's get our Elementium armor. Pretty in pink. Now, it really just depends as to what you're doing to determine whether or not you're going to want pixie armor. Pixie armor has the benefit of defending you whenever like something hurts you. It'll actually send out a pixie to come after it and help you, which I think is what it says for the set bonus. A 10% less mana cost on tools and rods, which is the same as mana steel. Chance for pixies to apply potion effects. Oh, I didn't know it was potion effects. That's not what I thought it was at all. So this will also run off of mana from a mana band in your inventory, so that's kind of helpful. I want to grab another armor stand because I think we're going to be coming back to the mana steel armor for Terra Steel later. I think I'm still going to go with Terra Steel in the end. I just don't have the mana supply for it right now, and the portal to Alfheim was going to be a little bit more important than that, so we'll go and toss down the armor stand. Well, a little cramped up here, so I don't really know where is a good place. And I am going to grab, because I've got to be honest, I'm not crazy about the pink, or at least the big pink helmet. So let me grab the helmet, take it off, and grab my Phantom ink. And get myself a invisible helmet, just like I had before. I don't mind the rest of it being pink, like that doesn't bother me. I just don't really love the helmet piece being pink. So let's come out here and see what happens if I get hurt. So you see it's actually doing a pretty decent amount of damage. I haven't touched the zombie once, and it's already almost dead. The zombie's gonna get killed just from its own doings. If I don't first. There you go. So that's pretty cool. You know, and since it provides the same amount of defense as the Mana Steel, that's fine. We'll go with this for now, because this at least gives me a really, really helpful bonus effect. Because the Mana Steel didn't give me this nice effect. But the Terra Steel is going to provide a lot more defense, so it's probably a lot more ideal that we do it that way. But what I think we should do, I really like this setup. Wood is not something hard to come by, so we should look into making these kind of better, because this is okay, but I'd love to teach our system how to make cake and have an automatic cake setup. So let me do some designing to see what I can come up with. I'd really like to get an automatic cake setup though. So yeah, let me come back to you in just a little while. I think I've got a plan. So how's this for a plan? It's been 3 weeks since I've last played, and here I am, finally back on. And basically, obviously there was my entire hiatus for the holiday season, and I've just now gotten back to the computer, and I've been busy. So I've updated the mods. We'll talk about the mod updates later. But I also set up the cake part of auto-crafting that we had wanted. We've got infinite cake production. And here. You know what? I'll just leave them. So if we come down here, I've made a new area. You'll notice it's a little loud. We'll fix that in a second. So this whole new area here, oops, I seem to have messed up a very small part of that. Oops. Let me fix that real quick and actually grab a muffler while I'm here. I think I've got planks for that, and then we'll just do muffler. And I actually coincidentally had everything that I needed for that. And we will stick a muffler back behind here. But I like to put them a little far away. That way I can still hear the sounds in the immediate area. There. Yeah, I like that. Oh, and I missed a spot. So, what I've done is I've made this room. This is another one of those little organic rooms that I was working on. And I have I've moved, rather, the entire system that we had up here. I moved it downstairs, down into this room here. And if you look around, you'll notice a few things. The network that we made, the controller, the refined storage network, is still here. And we're using quite a lot of RF per tick now, or RS, which they're 1-to-1. We're using 37 now. It's because we have a lot of external storages on this network, and we have some crafting going on. So here's how this works. We have a little bitty farm back here. It's got a worm for a wheat farm using a farmer from Actually Additions. This has an external storage hooked up to it, just because we only ever need to pull from this slot. We don't ever need to do anything. So once this gets full, there's no sense in keeping a very large storage of this. We're not going to need to like keep several stacks of wheat at once, not in this specific area. So we've done that, but we've also done the same thing for the breakers with the sugarcane here, and because the farmer does not handle the breakers. So behind these, it's not possible to see because of the way I've laid it out, but there's external storages on the back of each one of those. To be sure that we can store all of our crafting ingredients midway as we go, there's a modular storage down here. Basically, it's just going to store the buckets, the sugar from auto-crafting, because you can see we're auto-crafting cake and sugar for the cake. And so that's kind of slightly automated there for that. And then I'm trying to think of what else. I moved the automatic living wood and living rock setup down here. It's exactly the same in functionality, it's just relocated. And then lastly, I set up auto farms for technically feathers, even though it wasn't anticipated. So there's a 2x2 drawer hidden behind these handmade vines. And then there's also eggs, which is the more important part. So that's what the chickens are for, is for eggs. So you can just see a simple hopper setup. I'm using a lot of alpha glass just because it's really pretty. I also forgot to put the living wood back up here too. Dang, I dropped the ball on a few cosmetic things. Sorry, I did this all last night when I got back. I've only been back in my apartment for like 12 hours. So it's been fun because I wanted that to be there. And over here we have our cow friend with an auto crafting setup. That's just this is a very simple auto crafting setup that uses the mechanical user and just a crafter with an importer. So the crafter is going to say input bucket, output milk. There's a user on right click on entity, and I keep it at random slot because I find that sometimes the empty bucket changes from being in the upper left to other slots. It's just kind of got to do with how many get sent at once. And so the last little bit to this is that there is upstairs, there is, I feel like I did something wrong because I have an extra, but that's fine. Because I actually needed it for back here. There we go. I think it was something to do with behind there. But the last bit is up here we have, if I break these cakes, I have a few extra right now. And we'll put them back in the system when we're done. I have this constructor with cake with a crafting upgrade, and you can hear and see that it works just fine. And we're getting cake. Which is fantastic because, and this has a storage bus on it still, by the way, so we don't really have to worry about where the cake comes from. It should work. Yeah, see, cool. The storage bus on this one is whitelisted, so it only pushes things to this chest, and the two things it pushes are living wood and great wood, or living wood, not great wood, living rock. That way, it makes sure that everything goes to the chest here for the auto setup, because I don't want this going into the modular storage, because I don't want a grid. I don't want this is a headless interface or headless network. There's no grid. There's no anything. So now that we have the cake down here, we're going to want. We could have ender chested that or done whatever, but we're going to want to actually just get our mana up here using a few mana spreaders, a few mana pools, and possibly some cool living wood stuff. So what we're going to need is, of course, we're going to need a Kekimures. And let's see. I thought I spelled that right. I guess not. So that's going to require a Rune of Gluttony and some pixie dust. Good thing we have that portal to Alfheim. So let me go ahead and get the, and I'm also going to just go ahead and grab some living rock, because I think I'm going to make a few platforms in between, and we're going to need some mana pools and some mana spreaders. You know what? I shouldn't have made those. I should have made those, crap. Should have made those out of Dreamwood. Crap. Oh well. I just wasted a few gold. No big deal. Because I really should convert all my stuff to Dreamwood now that we have this portal. Let me come over here. What petal do I have the most of? Blue? That works. So the upside, if you don't know with these, oh, it's one of the, these, isn't it? I think it's Elementium. Yep, it is. Goodness, I haven't gotten this far into Botania in a long time. I have kind of just lost interest in it, honestly. But I'm getting a lot of it back from this, so that's good. I don't think I have any mana steel, no, so we'll just grab some iron. And we will use our mana. I think we should really only need 4. I know I prepared for like a lot more of these, but I think 4 should be enough. I forget that I can't do the JEI recipe in here. That kind of sucks. There we go. Elven Mana Spreader. And I don't think there's a better pool from here. Because this will just be... Fabulous is just Shimmer Rock, which... Bifrost. I mean, I'll do all of this stuff eventually, but I'm not really worried about it right now. So what we'll end up having is I can... Well, no, I shouldn't get rid of this yet. Well, let me go and start crafting the runes for everything, because we're going to need a Rune of Gluttony, which I think is like one of the top tier... yeah, so that's going to be a Rune of Winter and a Rune of Fire. So that's going to not be very fun. So let me do all that crafting, and I'll be back in just a few minutes. Alright, so Kekimuris has been made. We have our Elven Mana Spreader, and this will continue to go up and up and up. So the way this will work is we will have an alternating pattern of mana spreaders. And actually, I should have done that the other way. So we're going to have this mana spreader shooting straight up into this mana pool. This is going to give us a buffer, which is going to be really nice. And then we'll have this mana spreader shooting into this mana pool, which is, you see what I mean, is it's going back and forth. And then this one will go straight up again, which already has a mana pool all the way up here. It's not the most efficient, and I'm aware, but I'm also not concerned. So let me get my Staff of Traveling out, and we can just head downstairs. And hopefully this works out well. I think I'm going to put this right here. So, this is working, but I have an idea. What if we looked at some of the lenses? I've never looked at the lenses before or I've never used the lenses before in Botania. So let me read in the Lexica Botania, because I feel like there's a handful of lenses that would be helpful here for not only accelerating the mana dispersal, but also keeping from losing a lot of it as well. I think there's actually options for that. So I've got to go and look into it, but right now I'm just taking everything down because we have no need for the old-fashioned setup that we used to have. We can go kind of do some new stuff instead. So give me just a few minutes, and I'm going to read into the Lexica Botanica real quick and see what I can learn. Alright, so I'm going to need the Lens of Potency and Velocity. I want 3 of these each, and each one of these is just a plain mana lens and runes of fire and air. So I'm going to get to crafting, and I'm going to craft some extra runes, and I will be back in just a few minutes once again. Cool, so here we go. We're going to do 2 of these. And actually, I didn't make enough lenses. Whoops. That was poorly planned. Let me grab some more iron. I'm going to need another 16 or so. And glass. There we go. Because I wanted to make 4 of these, just to go ahead and get it done. Oh, and I forgot an extra slime ball. Well, I'll make 3 of them for now. That's all we actually need. And you can see I made some extra runes, just because. So we'll go ahead and make these. These are going to be Potency and Velocity, instead of just Potency or just Velocity. And we will go ahead and grab these. And let me go ahead and put my ring back on. I was draining and using it for mana transport temporarily. That's not what I was looking for. There we are. So I'm going to put this here. This here. And this here. So that should be a little bit better. You aren't making cake. Why is that? I have a sneaking suspicion it's the milk again. I have some problems with the milk thing. No. Hang on just a minute. Let me hop up over here to... actually, I should recharge this while I'm here. And let me grab... I did make a makeshift grid. Just for checking on things, even though it's supposed to be headless, it sometimes is weird. So if I put the grid down here... You've got 3 oh, wheat. You're waiting on wheat. Okay, that's fine. You might not always have wheat, so that's to be expected. Also, I had grabbed that to fix up the... That's not what I wanted. To fix up this little area. And then I noticed, I think it was right here. Yeah, right here. I need to put that there. Because there's going to be a few spots where you can see through, and that's fine. But that seems to be everything at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and call it an episode there. Sorry that this one's been, 1, very delayed, and 2, very, very all over the place. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and we have, this is my first time actually ever automating the Kikimura, so this was really fun to kind of figure out and keep an eye on. I hope that the whole mana lens thing works out okay. It probably should. It seems to be doing pretty well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Maybe we will do some Spark stuff. See you guys later.